watching the Hog Reaction Postgame Show, presented by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Gladwell, Cherokee Casino, Remax Unlimited Wes Olkey, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Arkansas wins. The Hogs are still dancing to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995.
Want to jump in on the conversation on the Hog Reaction Postgame Show? Give us a call or shoot us a text at 877-377-6963. All the reaction, our reaction, and your reaction starts right now. Well, there it goes right there. The Hogs fall in the Elite Eight to the Baylor Bears to a final score of 81-72. And one heck of a year it's been. And I tell you what, I mentioned it during the pregame show, this team just will not quit. And they didn't quit by any stretch of the imagination and fall to the number one seed in the South region, the Baylor Bears, 81-72. This is SmackDown. We appreciate you joining us here. We'll wrap this thing up pretty short, sweet, and quick. Just wanted to get in touch with you guys here real quick, get some reaction from you guys before we call this thing a night, and then really take a deep dive into this thing tomorrow morning on Morning Rush and halftime. Let's go straight to the phone lines. We'll get your reaction. If you want to jump in on the conversation, shoot us a text. We're streaming live on the VotalLaw.com live stream, and we are here to hear your reactions following Baylor beating your Arkansas Razorbacks 81-72. Let's bring in the boss man of ESPN Arkansas, Tommy Kraft, in on the pregame show. We're going to have Ty joining us as eventually Ty's making his way out of Lucas Oil Stadium as we speak, but we want to go ahead and get live and get your reaction. So, Tommy, it's me and you for a little bit. Tommy, just your immediate thoughts on Arkansas falling 81-72.
Well, it's disappointing to see the season end, but the season certainly went a lot further than most of us thought back in November that we wouldn't be sitting here this late in the March talking about Arkansas basketball. But tonight you dug a hole early in this ball game that you had to fight your way out of. Arkansas did. When Note fouled out with 13 minutes to go, shortly after that, you went on a scoring drought that you didn't recover from, and that was more or less the ball game. The turnovers led to too many Baylor points. And that was essentially what I think swung the balance in this ballgame tonight. Baylor was the better team. They flexed their muscles with their defense. They turned those points into those defensive efforts into points. Arkansas turned it over 15 times. Baylor scored 21 points off that, Matt, and that was the difference in the ballgame. I was disappointed in Arkansas's free throw shooting times, particularly in the first half. I thought you could have been in that game and maybe psychologically had a little bit different perspective going into the half, but it was just a night where Baylor was a better team.
Kind of surprised, Tommy, when you look at the stat line, and I'll go through these stats here real quick for you guys. Moses Moody, we talked a lot about this during the show. We needed a standout performance. And Tommy, just 2 of 10 from your star freshman, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. But Tommy, Moses never looked in sync, and a lot of that's probably credit to the stellar defense from Baylor. But even still, Moses just couldn't find a rhythm in this ballgame.
He didn't have a good tournament.
No.
It wasn't just tonight. He didn't have a good tournament. You were hoping tonight might be the breakout night for him to advance his team to the Final Four, but he just did not, for whatever reason, have a good game against Colgate, Texas Tech, Baylor, Oral Roberts. In the 4 games, it just you found other players, whether it was Tate, whether it was Note, whether it was Justin Smith, that offensively carried you. So, but we know what he meant to this team all year. You wouldn't be at this point. You wouldn't have been a 3 seed. This team certainly wouldn't have had the chance that it had to advance to this point in the tournament without his play all season long. But you'd have liked to have seen the guy that played at the highest level of any player in the SEC show up in the NCAA tournament.
I definitely agree with you. And there were some bright spots in this ballgame. I think you saw what the future of this team could look like next season with Devo Davis. Is it fair to say could be leading the helm next season, coming back as a sophomore next season? 6 of 13 from the freshman, 14 points for him, 6 boards. Devo, I want to touch more on just the heart and soul of this team as they just never quit. But Devo had himself a pretty decent game, I thought, Tommy.
Devo's been another one of those difference makers here. I mentioned Justin Smith and Tate and Note a minute ago, and Note was big tonight, but Devo Davis deserves every bit at the top of that conversation with the way he's played defense and locked down the other team's best players. You look at the future of this team, it's Devo, You hope it's K.K. Robinson. We obviously didn't get to see much of him this year. I'm still at the belief that Moses Moody, we probably saw him play his last game tonight as a Razorback. But you add that with Jalen Williams, and I think you got a good core of sophomore players next year to build this team around. We know Muss is going to hit that transfer portal. He's going to find players, and he knows how to move the pieces on the chessboard around. There's no question.
It may be a little bit too soon to ask this question, being an hour after or just not even an hour, less than 20 minutes after the ball game.
5 minutes after the game, yeah.
Not even 5 minutes after the game. But we've had a lot of chatter, and you can jump in on any of the conversation on the VotalLaw.com live stream. Shoot us a text, 877-377-6963. Lots of chatter right now. Should Moses Moody come back next season? Because, I mean, he played well all throughout the season, and yes, this 4-game stretch in the NCAA tournament shouldn't be a turning point for what we think of his NBA draft status. But he, like you said, Tommy, he didn't have his best tournament. So, and like I said, this may be more of a question a week down the road once we kind of all take a deep breath and we're not so emotional right now. But realistically, do you think we saw the last game of Moses Moody, or do you think there could be a case made for him to come back for a sophomore campaign?
I think you said, well, you got to take a deep breath, not be emotional about it. You got to evaluate everything that happened throughout the course of the season. Moses Moody, from all indications, is a first-round draft choice.
Absolutely.
And I know selfishly you'd love to see him be the heart and soul of this team next season. But if it was your kid, it was your nephew, your son, your family member, there's no way you could give good advice to say, hey, you need to come back to school.
Yeah.
If he is truly what all the projections have him as a likely lottery pick, but certainly a first-round NBA draft choice in a high one, he's got to go pro next year. So I'm of the belief he is not coming back.
And it's hard for us as media guys because we've never had the opportunity to have a multi-million-dollar contract on the line in the NBA. So if he's got that opportunity, you can't blame a kid for chasing money to try to go live out a dream that this kid's probably had for his whole entire life.
He's worked his whole life for that. So, I mean, as selfishly as we'd all like to be to see him maybe take this team to a Final Four next year, from what I see, the right decision for him to be a professional basketball player next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. Tommy Kraft, host of the Morning Rush, joining us here on the Hog Reaction post-game show. We'll stay here with you guys. 11:23 right now. We'll probably see if we can push this thing to about midnight because I'm gonna need some. We do have
a morning show to do in about 6 hours.
Yeah. I was gonna text you here later on, see if I could come in about 5:55 in the morning. So, but we're gonna be ready to rock and roll. Lots to talk about with this team, obviously. But Tommy, I think for me, I mentioned it during the pregame, and I've mentioned it all throughout the tournament. This team doesn't quit, and even down 18, and they got some breaks their way. This team just grits and grind and got their way, I think, within 3 at one point, or was it within 4? But either way.
I think it was, what was it, 60?
I think it's 64-60.
64-60, I believe was the number they got in. Now, give Baylor credit. Every time the Hogs closed the gap, they got a rebound. They got a rebound and put back. They got a stop and kept the Hogs at bay. And that was the frustrating part, is Arkansas couldn't get either the rebound and put back themselves or the stop they needed. Baylor made the play every time to keep Arkansas from really putting the pressure on. That was, to me, what just every time you thought Arkansas, okay, here we go, we're going to get within a possession, we're going to close this gap. Could never quite get there. And then when Note fouled out, and I don't know if he didn't know he had 4 fouls. That's not the kind of play you recklessly run in there and take a chance on a block charge play if you have 4 fouls. I'm guessing that either the bench didn't know and the player didn't know. Lack of something wasn't right on that, because he flat ran over the defender. You can agree or disagree with the block charge. That's just not a play you make.
Yeah.
You got to do a jump stop. You got to pull up. You cannot make that play and be that aggressive with 4 fouls. And when he left the game with 13 minutes, Arkansas could not find their way offensively, really for the rest of the ball game.
I'm anxious to kind of, as we take a deep dive into this, and you mentioned it on the pregame show, like this is the first time that Ty and I have really gotten to enjoy this type of a Razorback basketball team, where it was just almost had that 90s feel to it. So when you kind of look back and like we mentioned earlier, this is very new. It's very emotional right now, but even still, this is going to be a season that us fans, us as media guys, and these players, like, none of us are ever going to forget what this team meant to maybe the future tenure of Eric Musselman here. This is going to be a season we'll remember for a long time, breaking that Sweet 16 drought, getting to the Elite Eight. And outside of some of these transfers, and you never know, some of these guys may return off their free COVID year. You got a young core coming back and some transfers coming in already next season. I have no doubt that obviously a uber successful season, but the future is bright for this team.
Well, you hope this is. I know the 1990 team got to the Final Four, lost to Duke in Denver, but it was the beginning of something with that young group of players and that were young at the time, and Todd Daly, Mayberry, and Oliver Miller. They didn't get back to the Final Four the next year, but then set the stage for the program to do some great things a couple years after that. You hope this is the beginning of something like that. That's what we hope we saw this year. This team achieved more than anyone thought was possible. There's nothing to be ashamed of tonight. You lost to perhaps the best team left in the tournament. It's either Baylor or Gonzaga, and that's just a matter of opinion, and maybe we'll find out a week from tonight who is the better of those two teams. Won't be surprised at all. That's who me. Houston looked good, but I think Baylor looked better tonight.
1,000% agree.
So you hope that you look back, and when history is, you look back upon it, you say, well, this was the beginning of when Arkansas strung together, two Final Four runs in a 4 or 5 year period. It was because the table was set in 2021.
Yep, 1,000% agree. Well, boss, get you some beauty sleep. I'm going to hang in here for about 10 or 15 more minutes. We'll get some more reaction here, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. That's Tommy Kraft of the Morning Rush. Tommy, appreciate it, and I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll take an even bigger deep dive of this on the Morning Rush in the morning.
See you in about 5 hours.
Yes, I'll see you soon, boss. All right, that's Tommy Kraft here on the Hog Reaction Postgame Show. Thank you, Tommy, for jumping in here with us on the Hog Reaction Postgame Show. You want to jump in on the conversation? We're going to take one more quick phone call, and then we're going to take a quick break. You want to jump in on the conversation with me? We'll try to get Ty's thoughts in here. Ty was live at Lucas Oil Stadium. We'll see if we can get Ty called in here very, very soon. We'll take you up to about midnight this evening, 11:30 right now. We want all your reaction on the VotalLaw.com live stream, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. We're streaming everywhere, and we also want your reaction via the cell phone or via the text message at 877-377-6963. Got a lot of comments. We're going to get to those in a second. Let's head back to the phone lines, and it's just me in here this morning. So if you do call in, just be patient with me. I'm here by myself. So if I get your names wrong, forgive me, please. And it's also 11:30, and your boy's been up since about 4:15 this morning. Neil has called us up on the postgame show. Neil, you're on the postgame show, my brother. What's up, bro?
I live in St. Pete right now, and from Fayetteville originally. And so I'm 24, so this is the best Razorback basketball team I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how special it's been just to watch this run, see this team. And, look, in my opinion, Baylor's the best team in the country. I think they're going to beat Gonzaga in the national championship. And this is a game that, in my opinion, every bounce went Baylor's way. You look at the rebounds, they got every second chance. Number 45 on Baylor was cooking us. Went to the hole. He had a great game. And we were still there. We didn't give up. We went down 18. And we cut it to 4. Look, I think Muss has juiced the talent out of this team this year. It has been so special to watch. I saw the disappointment on Moses Moody's face after that game, and man, I know he's a number one, he's a first-round draft pick, but I could see him coming back, and we could be special next year.
Could be.
This is a talented team, and I think this is the best adjustment coach in the nation, in Eric Musselman.
Well, Neil, thanks for calling in, my brother, and you're 100% right. You saw those adjustments made. You were down 18 at one point in the first half. You made the comeback. You got it within 8 at halftime, and then you got this thing within 4, like you mentioned, 64-60. So obviously we know that this team can make adjustments. We know Musselman and company will make the adjustments necessary to turn this thing around in the right direction. So you're 100% right. We'll see what happens moving forward. Like Tommy said, I think it's way too soon right now to be making judgments, making calls, making whatever you want to call it on the future of some of these freshmen. I think if you polled every Arkansas Razorback fan, it's going to be well assumed that I think a lot of them think Moses Moody's out the door. And you can't blame the kid. Like I said, none of us has ever had a multi-million-dollar NBA contract on the line. None of us, and none of us never will. So it's much more harder. It's a much harder decision to think about when you have that on the line with this team. But like you said, I mean, the Baylor that is why Baylor is the number 1 overall seed in the South. I believe they were the second number 1 seed on the whole entire line behind Baylor. Behind Gonzaga. That's why Baylor is that good, and they proved it. They came out swinging in the first half, and I mentioned it on the pregame show. If you got down by double digits, you just weren't going to win that ball game. And give them credit. Excuse me. They almost made me eat my words. They really did. So it was something to behold and see, but I mean, it is what it is. And I think a lot I'm going to fix and read through some of these comments here when we come out of this commercial. Nearly every comment that I've seen so far has just been, my God, what a year. What a year this has been. Because like you said, Neil, I'm 24 years old. You're 24. I'm 28. None of us have ever lived through anything like this. None of us ever. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to analyze this thing through the summer. And I think for the first time in a long time, you're rejuvenated. You're excited. And I think the best thing is now we're going to be like, we're always antsy when football season's done because we're always looking forward to what's coming next for the football team. How long has it been since we could have said that about this basketball program? How long? It's been a long time since we've been genuinely pumped up and probably will be pumped up for the future of this basketball program, to see what Coach Musselman, to see what this staff, to see what this recruiting staff can bring in via the transfer portal, via the freshman signees. We already know some of the guys that are already going to sign. So the future is very, very bright for this team and everything about it. We got a call on hold, so if you just called in, stick with me. I'll get your name and city here in just a second. We're going to take a quick break and give our great sponsors a big thank you for all that they've done here with the Hog Reaction, the post-game show, Arkansas Game Day, Remax, Unlimited West Okie, Cherokee Casino, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and real estate agents Nick and Ellie Gladwell. We thank you guys so much for all that you're doing here for the Arkansas Game Day pregame show and also for the Arkansas Hog Reaction postgame show. Got 3 calls on hold. Stick with us, folks. We're going to keep you up till about midnight here on the Hog Reaction postgame show. We're working on getting Ty here connected. Or stay with us. We'll be back here listening to the Hog Reaction postgame show on hitthatline.com. You're watching the Hog Reaction postgame show, presented by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Gladwell, Cherokee Casino, Remax Unlimited West Okie, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
Trying to sell your home? Then you owe it. Are you trying to sell your home? Then you owe it to yourself to use all the tools available to speed up the process and get the deal you really want. From 3D home tours, videos, and stunning photography to blanket local advertising and social media blasts, selling your home just got a whole lot easier. Go to nickandellie.com and contact Ellie Glidewell to start putting these smart home selling tools to work for you right now. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Saisley and Edwards Realtors.
Great memories last forever. The rush of excitement at Cherokee Casinos is a feeling you will never forget. Whether you're winning on your favorite game, hitting 21 at the tables, listening to live music, or enjoying a meal with us. The best memories are yet to come. Live your greatest hits at Cherokee Casino.
When selling your home, your personal style may not be for everyone. But with a RE/MAX agent, they've got the skills to help more buyers see its true potential.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC has over 200 pre-owned vehicles to choose from luxury to economy and everything in between, including over 50 great vehicles with payments under $250 a month, certain to fit your needs and budget. And at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, you always get more for your trade. 50 vehicles with payments under $250 a month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
Back here on the Hog Reaction post-game show, live at you here on hitthatline.com, and we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Ty Richardson, back with us. Ty is back in his hotel room, live in Indianapolis. Another big shout-out real quick to RE/MAX Unlimited, West Oakey, Cherokee Casino, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and real estate agents Nick and Ellie Gladwell for taking care of Ty while he's in Indy. Ty, you're back with us. We got 3 calls on hold, but real quick before we hit to the phones, just your thoughts about Arkansas falling 82-71 to the Baylor Bears.
Well, it came down to turnovers and free throws, and Arkansas that was one of the things we talked about, and they really have been limited in turning the ball over prior to this game. But Baylor's just so tenacious on defense, and whether it's Teague, Mitchell, they have got Butler. I mean, they just get after you. They get in your grill, and Arkansas just made too many. Eric Musselman always talks about live ball turnovers, and Arkansas just had too many of those tonight. Baylor hit some big-time threes. Every time Arkansas looked like they were going to inch back into it, come up with another vintage comeback, Baylor was able to weather the storm. That's just a very good basketball team. That's what it comes down to. They're the better basketball team, and that's what happened on the court in Lucas Oil Stadium tonight.
That's why they're the overall number 1 seed. That's exactly the reason why. Let's go straight to the phones, and like we mentioned before we hit the break, we'll take you up to about midnight this evening because I know me and Ty got to get our beauty sleep and get ready to rock and roll here in about, little over 6 hours for the morning rush. So we'll stick here with you guys till about midnight. You want to jump in on the conversation, let us know, 877-377-6963. Let's go straight to the phones. We got 3 on hold, so stick with us here. Dylan in Alma has dialed up Hog Reaction. Dylan, give us your take. What's up, man?
Hello?
Dylan, you there, brother?
Yeah, buddy, I'm sorry. I get confused.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the last time the Arkansas Razorbacks made it to the Elite Eight, I was 3 years old. And it has been a tremendous season. And I think it's something that we should all take a step back and just appreciate how difficult and how hard it is to get to this point. And by God, we got a chance to win this game. If Moses Moody wakes up in the first half and does what he's supposed to do, and I love that kid, most talented kid on the team, but by God, we could have won this game, and how special would that have been? But I just want to say that, for everybody out there listening, Muss is going to get paid. He's coming back next year. We're going to be better next year. We got baseball around the corner. It's a hell of a time to be a Razorback fan, baby.
You got that right, Dylan. Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate the call. And the good thing about Muss getting paid is I'm assuming Hunter Yurchek will keep Layden his contract with incentives, so he's not going to get fat and happy like Brett Bielema did. That's not in Muss's DNA. And I think they're going to hit the transfer portal and hit it hard this season. They're going to continue to recruit at a high level. You got to be excited about the 2022 in-state recruiting class as well. All right, we got a bunch of calls we got to get to. We're going to fly through these. Pablo in KC is up next. Go ahead, man. You're in Hog Reaction.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Pablo?
Hey, just wanted to say that a lot of the Hog fans here in Indy were more sad that we weren't dancing any longer than sad that we lost, and that's a great feeling. And we're just happy to be out here, and we're ready. We're looking at next year.
Yeah, I think a lot of Arkansas fans are happy. Pablo, appreciate the call, buddy. I mean, here's the deal. The outcome is not what you wanted tonight. It's not what I wanted. It's not what anyone wearing Razorback red wanted. But you still have to look back on the season that it was. You had a 12-game SEC winning streak. You were at one point the number one team in the SEC in scoring. Your defense was unbelievable, and you just ran into a better team. That's what happened, and that's what happens sometimes in sports. And you didn't take advantages of the opportunities that were bestowed upon you tonight, Jenkins, and unfortunately, my dad is a happy camper, which is not what I wanted to see. But he's been relatively tame to this point. All right, next call. Let's go out to Freddie, who's in Indianapolis. I think she called on Arkansas Game Day earlier. Freddie, you're on Hog Reaction. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Freddie. I called in earlier. I just want to say that I am satisfied. I am so incredibly satisfied by this season. I mean, it was COVID season, and I know I'm a student. We really did that. But I think, we got by a good team. And you know what? That's okay. That's totally okay. I'm still getting a mustache tattoo, but, don't tell my dad that.
Did you lose a bet, or are you just doing it to do it?
Well, it was to get into the Sweet 16. I was going to do it anyway, but Elite 8, we're doing it. I wanted to do it. I just
like tonight? Are you talking about tonight, Freddie?
Tonight?
Are you going to get it tonight?
I have no idea where I'd get one at midnight Indianapolis.
Well, we'll make some calls for you, and you got to send us a picture at Hit That Line AR once you get it.
We need to see this.
I will. And you know what? If y'all want to pick it out, I'll let you do it.
Hey, there you go.
Even better. Even better. Freddie, be safe tonight. Have fun, okay?
Okay. Have a good night, y'all.
All right.
You too. All right, next caller, one of my favorites. PA is in Texarkana. PA, your thoughts on the game tonight here on Hog Reaction.
Yeah, is this Ty?
Yeah, PA, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man? The only thing that I think we backed up on tonight was Moses. I don't think he's going to be a top 15, a lottery pick. He was sort of exposed on his offense, and I love the kid, don't get me wrong. He's a great young man, but he needs to come back. I just think now if he can get to where he's in the top 20 on choices, go take your money and represent Arkansas and the U of A. But I just don't see it happening after tonight. He could come back another year and be the best player in the SEC, and Devo would compliment him in so many ways. I think our kids gave it all they had, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Those boys played their butts off, and I'm damn proud of them. That's all I got to say, Ty.
PA, you have a great rest of your night, and I think that call sums it up pretty well. And the sense of pride that you once again have in this Arkansas basketball team. And we're going to get a great perspective from Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated, tomorrow on the Morning Rush, because as much as I can read, listen, watch old highlights, I was not alive during this. And whether it's PA in Texarkana, whether it's Danny in Russellville, many of the great callers that we have here on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com, you can give me a better perspective of what it was like in the 90s under Olin Richardson and under Eddie Sutton as well. And from what I gather from our older listeners that were, and I say older, I mean just older than me basically, that can remember it, I gather that there's somewhat of a feeling of that same sense about this Arkansas basketball program. Now, Must has a long way to go before they get to a final. I say a long way to go. They almost got to a Final Four tonight. But this guy is not going to stop working. Him and that staff, they're going to continue to hit their transfer portal. They're going to continue to work their tails off, and they're going to continue to make your basketball program once again at least on the brink of a blue blood in college basketball. All right, next call, we'll go to BB, Arkansas. Smackdown, hometown.
Heck yeah, this is my boy right here.
Introduce it. Go ahead. I'll let you introduce it.
I appreciate it. Now, this is my man Dakota in BBDK. You're on the Hog Reaction postgame show, my friend.
Hi, man. What's up, Jenkins?
What's up, boy?
Man, just wish I was calling under better circumstances, but got to say, I think we just ran into a tougher, not necessarily tougher Baylor team, but just more experience. But cannot be more proud to be a Razorback fan right now, and I think the future is very, very bright.
I 100% agree with you, Dakota. I mean, this future is bright. I mean, and I think I wanted to jump back to what PA said just a minute ago, Dakota and Ty, but I think it's a little bit too soon to make assumptions and judgments on if Moses Moody should return next season. He didn't play well, obviously, during this tournament. I think he would admit that to you, but you can't take a 4-game set over all the 30-plus games that you played this year. Dude was stellar this year, but I don't know. DK, do you think he should come back next season or go pro?
Man, I never try to throw in my opinion on whether 18, 19-year-old kids should, decide to go pro, go get paid, do what he's been doing, or, fulfill his dream since he's probably thinking of it since he was 5 years old. But man, Moses Moody, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. Yeah, he had a rough couple games, but the kid's a stud, and I seriously think he should be a lottery pick.
Yeah, 1,000% agree. Dakota, thanks for calling in, my brother. It's good to hear your voice.
Hey, man, you're making the town of BB proud, and now it's time to go win a natty in baseball.
Damn right, my friend. I'll see you soon, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's good to hear. Good to hear from him.
Yeah, it's always good to hear from the BB boys, right? Smackdown.
Absolutely. Best Badgers are built different, boy.
All right, keep the calls rolling in. Next one, we'll go to Ryan in Hot Springs. Ryan, you're on Hog Reaction, man. Go ahead.
Ryan, you with us, brother?
Yeah, I am. I'm used to the other way in the mornings anyway. Man, I'm so proud of this team. They even when they got down with that big deficit, they came back. They fought hard. And that's all I can ask for. And I'll leave it at that. And I'm excited to see what this team does coming up late in the fall. I guess I'll talk to y'all in the morning.
Yeah, we'll talk to you here in about. We're getting close to about less than 6 hours, Ryan.
Right. Y'all have a good night.
I appreciate it, Ryan.
I think there's again what I brought up earlier, sense of pride. There were points in this game where I thought Arkansas was going to win it and come back, and I thought they were going to put a stake through the heart of Baylor Bears fans who attended in Lucas Oil Stadium tonight. 4-point deficit, and just whenever you felt like the Hogs were going to gain ground and traction and eventually a lead, there was a turnover.
Yeah.
There was a missed shot that it had an open one. It's just tough. By the way, Jenkins, on our VoteAllLaw.com live stream, Andrew replies, I still think Coach Mush should save Ty's head.
I mean, maybe not necessarily the full head, but maybe like the sides.
Just the sides.
Just the sides.
To get the mullet going.
Just get the mullet going. We can revive what we did earlier this year. Greg at Fort Smith just texted us in. You can give us your reactions, 877-377-6963. Send us a screenshot of Andrew Hutchinson from Hogbeat. And not to put salt in the room, but the all-region team for the South region was just announced. Max Abness from ORU, Maceo Teague from Baylor.
Fair.
Jared Butler from Baylor.
Fair.
The MVP, Davian Mitchell from Baylor. And Jalen Tate from Arkansas.
Okay, yeah, Jalen had another solid game tonight. He really stood out in these last two games. And speaking of Tate, him and Justin Smith, and they're not going to make this decision tonight, but him, Justin, along with Moses Moody, they got a decision to make. And I don't know what the timetable on that is, but I know that Arkansas would be far better off if one of those three young men decided to come back and play for this basketball team. But I heard someone earlier say, I'm not going to tell a kid what she do, and I'm at 26 years old. I sure as heck ain't going to tell these kids and their parents what they should do. I just know that Arkansas basketball would be better off if one, two, or good Lord, if all three of them came back. But that's just a wait-and-see moment on that, Jenkins, and I don't know what the deal is. Hey, really appreciate all of our listeners here on Hog Reaction, and we couldn't do this without our friends, real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, Cherokee Casino, Remax Unlimited West Olkey, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Your calls and texts continuing at 877-377-6963. Jenkins, Josh in Fayetteville says, I think this season has done a ton for recruiting. Recruits don't like anything more than winning. Winning is what it comes down to. In this program, for them to get back to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995, that is huge for the national brand of Arkansas basketball.
Well, I think it proves with some of these freshmen that you can come to Arkansas and compete at a high level. I mean, this team was a game away, and maybe a few turnovers, a few free throws, a few this and that from being in that Final Four game. Because I think I had a few calls earlier. You had an opportunity to win this game if just a couple different things would have went your way. But no, to answer that question, I mean, you're 100% right. You can come to Arkansas, and it's okay to come to Arkansas. You don't have to go to the big blue bloods and come off the bench or anything like that to go to Kentucky, go to Duke, go to North Carolina. You can come to Arkansas, make an instant impact, and I think you can trust Coach Musselman enough that he's going to put a damn solid team around you to take you places. Because, I mean, preseason, we knew this team was going to be competitive. We knew this team was going to compete. I guarantee you none of us thought this team was going to hit the Elite Eight and be a few possessions away from a Final Four. None of us. So that's a credit to the coaching job. And if you're a high school freshman, if you're Darian Ford, if you're any of these cats looking to try to maybe go play at Baylor or go play elsewhere, you can make just the biggest impact, if not a bigger impact, coming to play at Arkansas. Play for the home state school. Those kids, those in-state kids, knows what it takes to go play coming from the state of Arkansas to go play for the Razorbacks. So, big recruiting pitch is what happened this season.
TJ from Paragould texting. He says the difference in this game was points off turnovers. Baylor's a great team. TJ, you're valid on 2 points. Arkansas just turned the ball over too much in this basketball game, and you can't do that against a great team like the Baylor Bears. That's unfortunate. That was one of the keys to the game that we discussed previously before we even started the game, and unfortunately, SmackDown, Arkansas fell right into Baylor's hands in that category.
They just came out swinging. I mean, watching that first 10 minutes of the game, and Baylor just looked like on another level defensively with that team. Just the length, the speed, the athleticism that they were showing. And even then, Baylor was shooting 70%. Arkansas was shooting 56% from the field. Like, it wasn't like Arkansas wasn't getting the opportunities. Just they got their opportunities. They made them when they had to. But just, my God, that Baylor defense was unstoppable in that first 10 minutes. And then they made the adjustments and started to chip away. But the better team won. And this team is so young. I mean, and I'm not going to make excuses. I mean, it is what it is. So, I'm starting to ramble right now because it's getting late.
No, you're good, buddy. And we only got about 7 or so minutes left here on Hog Reaction. So if you want one final take for the night via call, via text, hop in here at 877-377-6963. We'd also encourage you to share, whether it's retweet on Twitter, sharing on Facebook. Really, we're trying to get our content out and get as many people in here as possible. Again, if you're just hopping in, we're talking about Arkansas, Baylor. The Baylor Bears defeat the Razorbacks in the Elite Eight. And I've seen some people discuss the officiating, and I was there. The Note charge was a bad call. Outside of that, I mean, I don't mean to pull
the bad calls went both ways, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame the officiating for tonight's game. Arkansas just lost, straight up. And listen, I am always for criticizing officials. I have no problem doing that. I do a show with one every single weekday. Tonight, though, was not the officials' fault.
No.
Arkansas just lost. That's what it comes down to. All right, next call, we'll go to Mississippi. Hernando, Mississippi, where we welcome in Jay. Jay, you're on Hog Reaction, man. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yes, sir, Jay. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm one of the few guys that's grown up in Mississippi all my life. My mom married a Hog fan in 1983, and I became a Hog fan. And I'm going to tell you, I am proud of this team. I love this team. I was there, remember when Nolan was there and all that, and I'm going to tell you what, this team has made me walk around Mississippi wearing my Hog stuff, and my first cousin is married to Keith Carter, the Ole Miss athletic director, and I tell you what, I have been ridiculed for being a Hog fan all my life, but this team is really one of the best teams we've had in 20-something years, and I'm going to tell you, they exceeded my expectations. I love Coach Muss, best coach we've had since Nolan, and I think the best is yet to come.
Jay, we appreciate your call, buddy. Keep wearing that Arkansas polo, T-shirt, sweatshirt with pride in the state of Mississippi, brother.
All right, thanks.
You got it, buddy. Always appreciate when we have a caller, whether it's Jason in Frankfurt, Jay in Mississippi, guys that are willing to sport Razorback gear even outside the state of Arkansas. And I think you earned some respect from the college basketball elite and Baylor fans tonight, even though that Baylor was the one that was the victor in tonight's basketball game. You beat some solid teams like Oral Roberts. That is a good basketball team. I know that they were a 15 seed because they beat Ohio State, who was the 2 seed. You beat Texas Tech. You beat Colgate. I thought Arkansas had an outstanding season, and I think they deserved a lot of credit. All right, next caller, we'll go to Bob in Hot Springs.
Let's preface this call, because if I understood this guy correctly, this is Bob in Hot Springs, and he is the father of the call we got earlier of the student that was wanting to get the tattoo tonight in Indianapolis.
Oh, I love that call. Bob, go ahead. Is Freddie going to end up getting a tattoo tonight?
Hey, Mr. Ty.
What's going on, Bob?
This is Bob, longtime caller, first-time listener. We just walked back from the stadium. We tried to find where the buses go. We were a little unsuccessful on that. We froze a little bit, but our Razorback love in our hearts still is keeping us warm, so we're happy with that. I also heard of a vague promise that my daughter, Miss Freddie, had made. And we're going to have a long and sincere talk about that later. Perhaps
not for her
in the
getting a
car
bus
riding
tattoo,
back to
Bob?
Arkansas tomorrow. It is a permanent decision. But other than that, we had a great weekend. You know, glad to see y'all out and about. We saw y'all at the dugout today. And, let's do it again next year.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, Bob. We appreciate your call, buddy. It's good to meet you today, and y'all be safe driving back to wherever you drive, or I guess Hot Springs. Be safe driving back to Hot Springs tomorrow, bud.
All right. Hang in there, guys.
I will do. Only got a few more minutes here on Hog Reaction. If you want to call or text in, it's 877-377-6963. You're welcome also to join the Morning Rush tomorrow from 6 to 9 a.m., halftime from 11 to 1, and Ruskin and Zach from 3 to 7. We'll be reacting to Arkansas's defeat to the Baylor Bears tonight in the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, that was not the outcome you wanted. So, Steven, Jenkins, I guess here's the only thing, the good thing about that, and again, I would have cut off much more than my hair to get to a Final Four.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I guess the only other winner in all of this is my liver and everyone else's liver. Now, some people are still going to win or lose, we boost. And you're going to go hard in the paint tonight. That's fine. Whatever, just be safe. Don't drive. But tomorrow's show is going to be better because I'm not going to be out all night. And also, for everyone else listening, your liver is probably not going to be as, well, I don't know the word, when it just gets flooded with alcohol. So I guess that's the one, if you want to pick one benefit out of a loss, and trust me, I'd much rather have the other way around. That's the one you can look at. By the way, SmackDown, I did see Sam Pittman and Hunter Yurchek leaving Lucas Oil Stadium, and obviously they look like they're not mad, but they're just
disappointed.
Yeah, just disappointed. Not in much or anything. Just not the outcome that anyone wanted, but just a lot of Arkansas fans and standing ovation after the game. Must walk to the locker room. He got a loud roar. People are excited for this basketball team for good reason. All right.
Future's great. Last call right here.
Last call of the night, and it goes to Billy, who is in Southern California. Billy, you are the last call on Hog Reaction. No pressure or anything, bud.
Hey, guys, I just want to say, Ty, and you guys did a great job this year and listen to you on the radio. I try to catch you sometimes when I get up in the morning. I usually get your podcast because of my schedule. But I'm here at work, didn't get a chance to watch the game recorded. Of course, I listened to it on the radio. And, this week, as a fan, the last time they won a championship was the year I got married in 1994. So for us to come all the way back and make the Elite Eight and a country muscleman, very proud of this team. I think we have a bright future. Let's keep them. I wish Moses would have had a better game. It seemed like he really struggled out of the game. Some of the other players, Lister, we had some, missed layups again, which kind of was our bugaboo a little bit early in the year. But you know what, guys, this team has nothing to hang their hat on. Baylor was a good team. When they got up to that 18-point, I was just a lot to overcome. They kept chipping away. I thought when we got to 4, man, it could happen, but just wasn't our night. Congratulations to Baylor. They're a good team, but you know what? I'll raise my Razorback flag out here in Southern California every day of the week, and I will always call the Hogs here, man. So,
yes, sir.
We ain't got to be ashamed of, and you guys do a great job, and I sure enjoy your show. And, we're on the Must Bus. We're staying there. I'd like to see Moses Moody come back. If you don't, thanks for, what he's brought to us this year. But like you guys were talking about earlier, we have a lot of pieces coming back, and who knows what the sky's the limit. But I will say this. We made it further than any other SEC team this year, and we have a lot to be proud of. When nobody gave us really an outside shot with all the players we lost. My thing is, I'm really proud because I was wondering how we were going to make the scoring when Isaiah Joe left. Mm-hmm. But the Coach Musselman guys kept the pieces there, and the guy knows how to coach. And the thing about Coach Musselman, his fight and our team's fight. So that's all you can ask for as a basketball fan. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And Billy,
I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. But I appreciate you listening all the way in Southern Cal, and enjoy the rest of your night, man. You're the only one that's getting to go to bed kind of early at 10.
I know.
Is it not? Is it 9
right.
there?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here and 12 o'clock where you guys. Are you 3 hour ahead of time, or are you?
No, we're 2.
Or 2 hours ahead of time.
We're 2 hours.
All right. Well, listen, man. Listen, Ty, you don't have to cut. You don't have to shave your hair, man. And I heard your last caller ask a question. Seeing Clay Henry run across the W Razorback Stadium butt naked, that might be a one for the ages. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right, buddy. Be safe. Have a good rest of your night,
Thanks,
Billy.
Man.
Thanks, Billy.
Good call from Billy. Now, SmackDown has pulled some Eric Musselman audio. If you want to listen to his press conference, you can find it on hitthatline.com and our YouTube as well. You've been able to do that all season. Really appreciate Andy Hodges helping us out with that. What sound do you have?
I was just talking, Coach Musselman just talking about how proud he is of this team, and we'll play this audio and then we'll wrap up our postgame show because I know the bags on Ty's eyes are about to starting to get as big as mine, so we'll wrap this thing up pretty quick.
I had some iced coffee at Lucas Oil. I'm actually okay. That means the show tomorrow I'm going to have to drink some more.
Exactly. All right, here's Coach Muss just talking about how proud he is of this team.
I think that all of us are really proud of the season that we've had. We got scorching hot at the right time to end the season. We played with confidence. We were a basketball team that got better every single day. They came to practice and worked every day. Even today at our shoot-around, we continue to work on some fundamentals that hopefully, can help all of our guys individually wherever they are. But it was a great season. We don't really know the impact because we've been in a bubble, in a controlled environment, in a hotel for a very long time. We don't know what
that's Coach Musselman. I realized there's a little bit some weird audio that came through there. But Todd, the biggest thing that he pointed out there is a basketball team that each and every day got better each and every day. Every day, every game you saw this team play, they got better and better and better. And I mentioned this to Tommy, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow because I know we're ready to wrap this thing up. But this is going to be a team, and this is going to be a season that we don't forget for a very, very long time.
And I know it's just to circle back to what you just said as we close down shop here on Hog Reaction. Again, want to give a special shout out to our friends, real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, Cherokee Casino, Remax Unlimited, West Okie, and Harry Robinson Buick GMC Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith. It's been a dismal early ride for me in sports radio because of the lack of success for Arkansas sports. First 2 years of Chad Morris, Sam Pittman finally looks like he's getting it going for football, basketball, the early Mike Anderson stuff. I say early, late Mike Anderson. And now Muss getting this team to the Elite Eight. Baseball team, it's always going to be steady Eddie with Dave Van Horn. Be grateful for one individual, and that is Mr. Hunter Yurachek.
Yes, sir.
He has done a fantastic job. You're still trying to wait on Pittman a little bit. You think it's going good. We'll see more about this year. He nailed the basketball hire. No one's names on the court. There's several other things that he's done in his tenure at Arkansas that have been crucial. And the best thing about Hunter is he can interact with the bigwig, the rich daddy, spending millions a year of donations, which ADs have to do. And then for all our other fans listening, like myself, who can't shake two pennies together, he can react. He can interact, and you can relate to them. That is a very difficult thing to do as an athletic director, is touch every financial avenue of the fan base, and he's able to do it for the guy that's upper level tickets to the nosebleeds to the guy that's spending thousands upon thousands a year for box seats or whatever. And that's what you should be happy about. Men's basketball, men's football, and men's baseball, as well as women's basketball and the other sports there on campus, they're on the right track. Matt, it's been a good day, man. Are you ready to do it tomorrow morning, bright and early?
Let's do it in less than 5 hours, my friend. We'll do it again on the Morning Rush. 6 o'clock tomorrow for Morning Rush, 6 to 9, halftime 11 to 1, 3 to 7. Ruskin and Zach, we're going to take an even bigger deep dive into what just happened tonight. So let's get some beauty sleep. We'll do it again in the morning.
For Matt Smackdown Jenkins, I'm Tyler Richardson. We are live in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'll be here tomorrow with coverage of the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, Arkansas falls to Baylor tonight. Really appreciate Forest Grid Incorporated, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley helping me get down here. For Matt Jenkins, I'm Tyler Richardson. Morning Rush, bright and early, 6 a.m. Don't want to miss it. We'll talk to you.